Today I'm playing Dominoes Gold. Now this is a game of dominoes against an AI bot. And there's a message right at the beginning here that tells you the winner will be the player who has the better score against the bot. So you could win against the bot and lose this game if the other player gets a higher score against the bot. You could also lose the game against the bot, but win this game if the other player does worse than you. At the start of the game, you're both dealt 7 dominoes, or bones. And up at the top of the screen, you'll see who goes first by which direction this little triangle arrow is pointing. The AI automatically chooses the person with the highest doubles as the first player. And if that's you on this first round, you need to place the highest doubles that you have. The first double tile to get placed becomes the spinner. And you can place dominoes on all 4 sides of this spinner. You move the tiles by touching them and dragging them to the center, or you can flick them and they'll just go. But later in the game, you may want to drag them so that you place the tiles exactly where you want them. And what I mean by that is sometimes a tile will have 2 different numbers on the ends, and it will have more than one spot that it might fit in, and one spot might get you points and the other won't. And so if you drag it, you can make sure it goes exactly to the spot you want it to go to, whereas if you flick it, the computer will decide where it thinks you want it to go, and sometimes it decides incorrectly. As the game goes on, each player, you and the bot, take turns placing dominoes, trying to score in multiples of 5. Scoring is done by adding the sum of all of the ends. If there's only one side of the spinner with dominoes, the other side will count as the sum of the spinner. Once there is a line of dominoes in 2 directions, the spinner is no longer a part of the count, and when a 3rd or 4th line is coming off of the spinner, those ends will also be counted in the sum. If you can't make a move, you'll take dominoes from the boneyard until you can go, or until you've taken all of the dominoes and have to pass. If both players ever have to pass, the game is locked, and each of your hands is summed up, and the difference is awarded to the player with the lower number, and is awarded to them as points. When a player places their last domino, the other player's hand is tallied and rounded to the nearest 5 and awarded to the player who went out first as points added to their score. The player who had the domino starts the next round and places the first tile. This time it doesn't have to be a double, and one strategy is to see if you have a tile whose sum is 5 or 10, and when you place that, you will get those points. Then in a round where the first tile placed is not a double, the first double that does get placed then becomes the spinner. And this spinner will be like any other spinner where you can place tiles off of all 4 sides of it. In this version of dominoes, you keep playing until you or the bot reaches 100 points. At that point, the game stops, and the player within this game that has the higher points wins. Then the person who has the better score against the bot wins the tournament, and whatever prize, Z points or money, goes to that person. In this game, I'm not using a whole lot of strategy. I'm just trying to stay afloat because I'm constantly running out of tiles that I need and having to take from the boneyard. But a strategy, if you have a variety of numbers, is to quickly add up the ends to see if you have a domino that you can place that will give you a 5, 10, 15, I've even gotten 25 points when there's been lines coming off of all 4 directions off the spinner. So if you can do math quickly, it will really help you to figure out the best domino to place to score any number of points, not just the largest amount on a domino, but it's better to get 5 points than to use a large domino and get no points. But that being said, you do want to use your large dominoes, because if you're left with them when the bot goes out, those points will be awarded to the bot. So you kind of want to strike a balance between getting rid of your high numbers, but also scoring as much as possible. And when the game ends, because one of you reached 100, they give you a final score sheet of all of the breakdown of points that are being awarded. And there you go. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more Skillz walkthrough videos.